morning, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful day it is. My name is Ted Ross, and it's a privilege. I am the fire chief of the Tice Fire Rescue District, and on behalf of the staff and all the residents, thank you. Thank you for joining us today for this day of remembrance and this day of fellowship. It was a beautiful day like this 12 years ago on September 11th when our nation's history was changed forever. This is our third year that we've come together in fellowship and remembrance on this date, and once again, we are humbled that you join us. Everything that we do today is because of the support that we receive from our Board of Commissioners, from our staff, but most importantly, from the support of our residents and our community. As we go through today, we invite you to join us for lunch at 11 o'clock afterwards. We'll end our service at 10:30, and then there'll be a time for fellowship where in our training room is the sights and sounds from September 11th. I would like to thank all the dignitaries, all the academy students, all of the different fire departments, and everyone for joining us today. If you would, please stand at this time while the Lee County Guns and Hoses, Pipes and Drums brings in our national colors.
All uniform personnel, attention!
Often referred as this generation's Pearl Harbor, the terrorist attacks on September 11th, 2001 claimed the lives of thousands of innocents in the World Trade Center towers, the Pentagon, in a field in Pennsylvania. You gotta excuse me, but I'm like that. It also claimed the innocence of our nation, your nation. Hijacked 4 commercial passenger jet airliners. The hijackers intentionally crashed 2 of the airliners into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City, killing everyone on board and many others working in the buildings. Both buildings collapsed within 2 hours, destroying at least 2 nearby buildings and damaging many others. The hijackers crashed a 3rd airliner into the Pentagon. The 4th plane crashed into a field near Shanksville in Somerset County, Pennsylvania. This after some of its passengers and flight crew attempted to retake control of the plane, which the hijackers had redirected toward Washington, D.C. There were no survivors from any of the flights. Excluding the 19 hijackers, 2,974 people died in the attacks. The overwhelming majority of casualties were civilians, including nationals of over 90 different countries.
All across the United States today, there's an organization of the buglers across America. Their group will be paying respects by playing taps at 4 separate times. There will be hundreds and hopefully thousands of buglers across the United States performing taps at the exact moments of the attacks on September 11, 2001. At 10:10 a.m., United Airlines Flight 93 crashed in a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, after the passengers made a heroic attempt to regain control of the aircraft from the hijackers. Who can forget the last words spoken by Tom Beamer? "Let's roll." As the passengers on board Flight 93 resisted the terrorists who had commandeered their flight. Never forget what he said. Let's roll. State in our union and was flown in every state, including Hawaii and Alaska. We had the opportunity in Fort Myers to be part of that history, to bring down this very large flag, and we were able to display it during the Edison Pageant Light Parade, and then also
Thank you,
we
Chief
had a
Ross.
President's Day
And
ceremony.
thank all of you for joining us on this very special day. It is a special day because we gather to remember the tragic events that took place 12 years ago. We gather to remember together the brave efforts of the first responders. Respond to calls, they can feel a little safer. Law enforcement officers. As a firefighter, when a call comes in, someone's in trouble, you go. You don't ask a lot of questions. If you have to hesitate about going, you probably shouldn't get on the truck in the first place. But you should never hesitate in remembering the events of 9/11, the victims of that day, and the heroes of that day.
The memorial that we have behind us, that we are gathered here in front of today, was a huge collaboration of many, many different organizations that helped it, that made it possible. I'd like to introduce at this time Assistant Chief Greg Trammell, who's going to explain a little bit more about how this became a
We take
reality.
things for granted
Chief?
every day. And I want you to take a moment, just one moment, and think about that day and this beautiful piece of artifact that we have, this piece of steel. And remember, when you've seen it on TV, you've seen piles and piles. A little bit about how we came about that piece. That was one of the pieces. In September of 2009, the Port Authorities of New York and New Jersey opened requests for organizations to take possession of a piece of World Trade Center steel. To be used in a memorial opening. The steel was recovered to the general public. The Tice Fire Department placed a request for one of these artifacts. The request was granted in May of 2011 and granted us a piece of this artifact. There's a special number, if you go up and look at it, of the artifact number. Our number is I-015. The steel I-beam is 60 inches long, 34 inches wide, 29 inches high, and weighs 338 pounds of our community, and is honored to have possession of a piece of our American history. For the past 3 years, this memorial has expanded because of willingness and generosity of our community. We would like to recognize the people which made this possible. If you are present, please stand.
Being here today, we are humbled that you've joined us. On September 11th of 2010, the fire service lost another hero from right here in our own backyard. Assistant Fire Chief Pete G. of the Fort Myers Shores Fire District. Lost his valiant quest at this fire rescue with cancer. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today. Godspeed, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.